And we are live. Fanboy Modeling School.
And welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis, now in HD, and I'm here with my man
Steve, real name, no gimmicks, also in HD. How the hell are y'all?
I'm living the dream right now.
Yeah?
You know why? Because I have a plate of probably side stories, minor stories, things that seem like they're not a big deal, but they're about Marvel, superhero movies, entertainment, and movies in general.
Right.
And finally, we got some substance in this podcast.
Yeah, because the Boy Scouts of America have also had a remix and a change of name and a change of heart.
Oh, a change towards softness. To be honest, this is beyond soft. This is actually beyond soft. We're going to get into it in just a real minute. This is a reminder to like, share, subscribe, follow, sub, throw us spoons, coins, bits, or whatever. Do all the good things to Fanboy Modeling School, because we love you, and we can't do this without our fans. Shaolin Iceboxer in his house. We've also got Rogue Radio. How are you? Hello, indeed.
Right. What up, Rogue? What up, Shaolin?
Salutations. Izzy. He's like Santa Claus. He pops in once a year.
Yeah. He's like my dad.
Rogue Radio says you both make my work nights more entertaining. I'm so glad we could do that.
Thank you.
As in, guys, if you are not tuned into Rogue Radio over there, right there in the chat, please do so. Top tier conspiracy theorist, but she also talks about like very important topics that you're not going to get in mainstream news. So please check that out.
Shout out to Rogue.
Shout out to Bex.
Girls for fanboys. Shout out to Bex. Yo, Bex don't believe shit. She should do a conspiracy show. I sent her a fucking I sent her a freaking
He said she don't believe.
She don't believe shit. I sent her a clip of this motherfucker, a comedian talking about a famous drug dealer that he just happens to know, and the famous drug dealer just happened to go to China and felt it okay to share. Oh, it was Godfrey, and he shared the story with Godfrey, who then felt it was okay to share it on the Shannon Sharp show. That his famous drug dealer friend, well known, slinging weight in the hood, went to China and met with the triads, I assume, right, the organized crime unit out there. And he said his friend's not scared of anything, but what he was terrified of was how organized they were, how efficient the running of the business were. They were basically in a factory pushing out dope in China, according to the story. And then when his friend met the head of this triad, it almost sounds like he was describing that one guy from The Hangover. You know, the stereotypical Asian character they have in that movie, The Hangover, because the guy says to his friend, you know, you blacks, you're very fancy, you set trends, you do everything, everyone copy you, but you're easy to break up. And I sent that shit to Bex. Bex responded, ain't nobody say that shit. But she completely called the entire story into the question. So shout out to Bex.
Shout out to Bex. She doesn't believe anything.
Izzy
says not hearing a thing you're saying because I have to watch 4 ads. It's amazing. Oh, sorry about that.
Izzy, do you have Amazon Prime? Because I can change that for you right now if you got Amazon Prime.
And he says, and I'm back. Now we are ready to do this thing. Do you have any honorable mentions this week?
You know, I don't. For once, I'm content. I will say this.
Who the hell are you, and where's my best friend?
I will say this, man. I've been hanging out at the gym, mostly to make myself feel inadequate. It's good to humble yourself, man. To go places where people who are better than you, better looking than you, can help you stay right size. We all got to punch our weight class, right? None of this, everyone gets a fucking prize shit. But I will say, I thought the whole thing about the women in the gym with the phones acting a fool was mostly made up by gym bros.
Yeah, mostly cap. Mostly cap.
No, it's happening, bro. I'm on the elliptical like every old man at the gym, getting in my 30 minutes.
Did some gym influencer insult you? Be like, "What are you looking at? Stop looking at my ass!" Meanwhile, she's got that thing poked out, like camera pointed toward it.
No, I just happen to notice, man. I look, you know how you doing cardio, or you're just doing something. You just look to your left and your right. We're all people watching in the gym, and you hope you don't see anything too peculiar. I looked to the right and I saw a woman on the Stairmaster. And like it's going pretty fucking fast. And so she should be focused on that. She's clearly recording herself. And I'm like, I could be a sick bastard. I was like, I hope this bitch trips on her towel, gets her hair caught up in the motor, and fucking hangs there for a second.
Yo, for a guy who said you have no problems going on, you have a lot of pent up hostility right now.
No, that's not pent up. I let it out. It's not pent up at all.
Hail to the chat, says Matt Cat. What up, brother? Izzy says, I want to see a film based of the true strongest Avenger, Butterball.
Butterball.
I don't know if I know Butterball.
Oh, I think Butterball is one of those. I know Butter. Wait, hold on for a second.
What up, Matt Cat?
And shout out to Lil Garfield over on Instagram. Thank you for coming in, brother.
Yeah, and shout out to Matt Cat, who also has been gaining the gains, man. Both of you,
I know, hitting it.
Both have your gym game up, and I'm in awe of both of you right now.
Oh yeah, I remember this guy, man. Oh, shout out to Butterball, man.
It's Gemini season. Let Steve rant, says Bex. Okay.
It is Gemini season. Bex, you know I'm telling the truth. You know you don't believe shit. And y'all all know if y'all have seen that bitch on the Stairmaster, y'all would have hoped that she died. And it is Gemini season, which means my powers are at their peak right now. Literally, for the rest of this month and my birthday's next week, I will be casting out the unholy into the depth of
I will
Hades.
try not to disagree with you.
No, that's what makes Gemini season better. You will try to disagree with me, is what you. I invite all takers. But that's my honorable mention, man. Thank you for the acknowledgement of the gym gains, and a shout out to you and Matt. We're all doing it. A bunch of old men getting in shape.
Little Garfield says I got YouTube as well. What up, brother?
Hey, thank you, Garfield.
Geminis are Steve's kryptonite. Steve is the ultimate Gemini.
It's true.
Happy future birthdays, Steve.
Thank you, Rogue. Thank you, Rogue.
So I feel like my honorable mentions are all like these micro stories I was talking about. So let's get into entertainment right now.
Okay, let's do it, brother.
So what entertainment story has got you the most enthralled?
Okay, so listen. Maybe I did have an honorable mention, but this one has nothing to do with pent up rage, man. I am nearly at a place where, because of therapy and spiritual work and hanging out with hippies at retreats with crystals in their bare feet, I no longer care if the Blade movie's coming out anymore.
The reason why you shouldn't care is that I've seen Marvel's slate of like green lights, what they're green lighting, and they have not, in my opinion, escaped. Like Kevin Feige has not escaped his woke pattern. He's still doing idiotic moves, and so Marvel's gonna self-destruct before Blade ever comes out. But I'll enjoy a show or a movie here and there before it goes out.
Why? Okay, so don't worry about my honorable mention. What do you have for entertainment? Because you seem like you have some insider information. I want to know what it is you got, man.
Honestly, I'm playing it off like I want to talk about X-Men, but really I want to talk about Taylor Swift.
Why do you want to talk about that little dude for?
So various shows have been greenlit, and do you remember when they said they were toning down how many shows each year they're putting out, and they're like, we're gonna pick and choose our projects very wisely. They have greenlit season 2 of Hawkeye, Okay. They have greenlit. However, Vision Quest, which I'm super into. For those who don't know, that's the story. That's White Vision and Scarlet Witch, probably Wonder Man because he was in the graphic novel. Trying to get him find his soul.
Yeah, we have to qualify that. I don't want the wrong people showing up to this stream like they're talking about the White Vision, and that's the other White Vision.
Oh, the Donald Trump shit. No, I'm not talking.
No, the third right.
This has nothing to do. Yeah, like I said, the Donald Trump shit. So no, this has nothing to do with MAGA or the future of this country or whatever. The White Vision. It's so funny because his name didn't change to the White Vision in the comic books, but everyone calls him the White Vision. Just because he lost his color or whatever, so he's the White Vision. We're talking about the superhero, of course.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I think the White Vision in WandaVision looked amazing.
Yeah, it looked really cool. Yeah. It was a very interesting way, and interesting in the best way to bring that to real life.
Yes, and so in terms of adaptations, that is a great way to make the White Vision happen. So when he loses his soul in the comic book, he loses all his color and he becomes all white. Yeah. And he stays on the Avengers. He's like the Data of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Where he's like a robot, but he has less soul, less humor, certainly incapable of love. He stays on there for probably the late 90s. He was like, he was white the entire time. Like, if you saw Vision, he was white. He was a white dude. Like, literally. But eventually, Scarlet Witch, with the help of her then lover, Wonder Man, and a couple others, West Coast Avengers, go into, search through both computer realms and the afterlife to get his soul back, and they're turning this into a show. The show will probably be nothing like the comic, like none of them are, but right. I'm happy to see more Vision on the scene. What about you?
I'm happy to see more Vision too. I love how many times you said White Vision and white. You're like, he's white.
You told me to cool it, and I said White Vision, White Vision, White Vision. Did I mention he's white? Matt says, yeah, Marvel hasn't fixed a damn thing. And so, supposedly, Daniel RPK over on Twitter, that's one of the leakers. Right, supposedly works for Marvel. Very often correct, not always correct. Says that the X-Men movie is going to focus on the women for a thing called.
Oh yeah, this has been something that's this has been floating around for a little bit, that the main characters, the main focus were going to be the women, and I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I treat Marvel the same way I treated that homeboy who goes and tries to pick up chicks at the methadone clinic. I'm like, yo, you're going to catch something, and it's like Marvel just continues to say, no, I'm good. So if I could put a little fear of the good Lord in you right now. Oh boy.
So. You know how they made Silver Surfer a woman just because, and their argument is like, we want our Silver Surfer to look different than Fox's Silver Surfer, which is the real Silver Surfer, right? Think about it this way. Imagine if in the MCU they use X-23 instead of Wolverine. How would you feel about that?
Well, pick a better character. As far as tokenized characters,
wait, hold on. I'm not going to pick another character because that's what they're going to do, probably. Okay, you don't see the writing on the wall. That's exactly what the type of thing Kevin Feige would do.
No, absolutely. How would I feel surface level? Obviously, that shit's going to suck, man. X-23 is one of the greatest, since Harley Quinn, the only other character to survive the transition from animated to comics to film properties in all three. Well, Harley Quinn kind of did it, but this is stupid. You don't even have to ask me that question. It is entirely stupid, right? I don't want to see a movie about some X-Men. I want to see a movie about all the X-Men. If I'm going to watch a movie about some X-Men, then I'm going to watch a giant-sized X-Men movie where it's like the story of Cyclops, Beast, and all of them. And I'll have to sit through that bullshit again. But I was hoping that they had this down after learning the Spider-Man, figuring out that code, which is we don't need an origin story to start over, right? We can just start the fucking movie. Right, we could just start the movie. Right, we can just start it, and but again, actually, I blame this on you, and all you Grace Randolph supporters, all you people who won't speak up against tyranny in America.
I am the most
white vision. I
am the most openly spoken anti-Grace Randolph person in the world. I don't even think that she should have the right to go to school. let alone hold a job, which I don't think she does have a job. She certainly doesn't have subscribers. But and so are you ready for some wokeness that's gonna get all you Taylor Swift fans wet?
Okay.
But it's gonna annoy everyone else. So they have greenlit another comic book that Marvel owned in the 40s, back when they were called Atlas Comics.
Oh no.
It's called The Phantom Blonde. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I've heard this name before, but go ahead.
It's the story of a lady detective who she's a nerdy secretary at a detective agency. Her boss she's in love with is incompetent. At night, she lets down her Goldilocks hairs, puts on a domino mask, and fights crime at night. And they've decided they've greenlit a series for her.
Oh no.
And literally the next day after greenlighting that series, they had an interview with none other than Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and as soon as I type in Blonde Phantom, she's the first person that comes up. Yeah.
I believe she's going to play the Phantom Blonde.
No. Okay, let me just comment on this, right? So Marvel already has the MCU already has a Scarlet detective, superpowered individual that they seem to want nothing to do with, man. Jessica Jones. It's so simple. Just bring back Jessica Jones. Now, this is probably going to do well. And you're not going to like the fact that it's going to do well because all the Swifties are going to go see it. So this is a shrewd business move if it's actually her tied to this property.
Yo, I agree with you. That is smart, bringing Taylor Swift into any property, because Swifties will see it whether they're enjoying it or not, because she runs a cult. Matt in the comments says Taylor Swift is the devil's harlot.
Yes.
I agree with that. Rogue Radio says, doesn't my girl Haley Steinfeld act in Hawkeye? She does.
Yes.
She's his sidekick. They refuse to give her accurate comic book name, Lady Hawk, because apparently mentioning that someone is a lady or a woman is not politically correct nowadays.
Oh, no.
So she's a nameless character. They're planning to bring back 3 Spider-Men. Or Spider-Mans. Would it be Spider-Man or Spider-Mans? Because Spider-Man, each other, and their copyrighted names. I don't even know what's happening here, Andy.
Pokey's over at IG. What up, Pokey?
What up, Pokes? Beck says, my pro-blackness is tingling every time Mantis says white fishing, right? You're reaching for your gun. I get it.
It is a future for the white vision.
Oh, right. And then Izzy said a female Spider-Man noir. I mean, that would be horrible. Yep. However, Nicolas Cage is supposedly going to be in a live-action Spider-Man noir series, not done by the MCU, done by Sony. So,
which means it's gonna suck, but they're gonna let Nicolas Cage off his leash, and they're gonna be like, overact, Nick, and he's gonna go for it. So
I'd be into it. I'd actually be really into it. That says the Phantom Blonde. Isn't that just another way to say white blonde? What's going on with you, Mantis? White Vision, Phantom Blonde? Do we need to have a talk? He says.
Exactly.
Yo, it's not me. It's Kevin Feige, and maybe this has been Kevin Feige's long game. That he's like, I'm gonna bring in white supremacy eventually. Because Taylor Swift is not because of anything she's done, but apparently white supremacists love her.
Who loves her?
White supremacists love Taylor Swift. They love.
Country music fans. No, I'm just joking. No, there's no country music fans are not filled with white supremacists. That was low hanging fruit.
That was funny. That was funny.
So I could see how she fits the bill of the white vision, right? She fits the bill. She fits the bill.
But like, here's what I'm saying. Why would they greenlight?
And she converts white men back to dating white women. See, it's all coming together, bro. It's all coming together.
The conspiracy theories all coming together. So my question is, why would they greenlit this? They've already had, like, with Echo and She-Hulk, they've had a lot of bad, like, not thinking about not only who they should give a show, but giving shows and making sure they're quality, they haven't done. So why would they say this comic book that hasn't existed since the 40s should be a thing? Here's
the thing, right? There is no market for this character, but there is a market for Taylor Swift, and it's an easy way to put her with a character that if this movie flops, it has nothing to do with the greater MCU, right? It has
Right.
nothing to do with that at all. But if the movie succeeds, then we have a character in which if she takes any creative license or has any umbrage or issues with anything, we can build this character out, right? It's the type of thing you do when you're going for the money grab. We can do whatever we want with the script because I doubt anywhere that there's some phantom blonde or blonde phantom stan that's going to be like, actually, she fought Metatron.
So you know what's so crazy? She was so popular in her time. Remember, this is the 40s. That she appeared in 7 comics each month.
Really?
Like she was in her own comics, and then she was guesting in other things, and she was on a detective team, and she had a total. She was like their Wolverine back in the day.
You any chance you and Shaolin can? You guys take a shot at the greatest Canadian to ever not live, man. What the fuck is wrong with you two?
Yo, Little Garfield says Luke Cage underappreciated. Absolutely,
absolutely. And you know what? I'm gonna stick up for Luke Cage season 2, man. Rewatched it recently, and I'm like, this shit. I don't give a fuck what you say about Bushmaster. Maybe the acting wasn't great right there, but that was a great season. So shout out to that.
I like that season. No, I like that season. So here's what I'm saying. I would have made Power Man and Iron Fist a single show.
Yeah,
and I bet you if I had done that, that show would still be on today.
Absolutely. You just ditched the blonde kid who wasn't a bad actor. It was just his martial arts.
It's the fact he's so bad at the martial arts. Here's what it is. They thought they could teach a man kung fu in a week.
They thought they could teach a man high flying kung fu in a week.
Right. No, that's like it's nuts, man. And so it's crazy that Colleen Wing, his female fellow star, she knows real kung fu, so she's schooling the star of the show.
Yeah.
In martial arts, it was sad.
She sucked in The Matrix, which got greenlit for another movie, by the way.
They just won't let things die. This is like Paranormal Activity. What are they up to? 12 or 13 now?
It's like happening.
Purge 13, Strangers 17, Paranormal Activity 19. Like when are they going to let these franchises end?
They won't. But switching back, man, it's funny because we started this off with Izzy talking about characters like Butterball, and now we got Blonde Phantom. It really is an ingenious move, man. I think Marvel looked at what happened with Super Bowl this year, and they were like, wow, she really does fill seats. Now, I'm going to give Grace Randolph some respect right now. I think it was Grace Randolph who said sometimes these actors don't bring in the draw like they're supposed to. But she was talking about people like, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is a draw, but he's a draw for Mission Impossible. People might show up to see him as Iron Man, but it's going to be a novelty thing because we know he's not coming back. It's just like Krasinski.
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say I really love Tom Cruise on multiple levels. I just think he's a cool guy. And I thought it was really great that one of the actors who was in Top Gun, he was getting roles, but he was getting not big roles, and he was complaining about it. And Tom Cruise said to him, he said, yeah, but it's your job. If the role isn't great, it is your job to make it great.
Yeah.
And I think that is just so respectable. That's like a real actor speaking to someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was way better than what Will Smith said to that poor bastard that was in Aladdin with him. He's like, I think you should talk to your higher power or deity or whatever you believe in.
or some white light.
The universe. Speak to the universe. Just scream in the sky.
These new agers, man. Matt says, I wouldn't give her a project. She's a terrible actor. The only thing that could save it would be the production value, like the Eras Tour movie. So here's the thing, though. Here's what I have to say. And Steve is hitting it on the head. It doesn't matter if she's a good actress. The fact is she draws people in. People will come whether she's good or bad. And their objective is to make money. Right? And so it's like American Horror Story. People bitch at Ryan Murphy because he's given jobs to Kim Kardashian and Lady Gaga and all these other actors. And it's called stunt casting. People will show up just to see the person in the role, whether they can act or not. It's super smart. It's super smart to have Taylor Swift.
2 things. This would have been a better casting for Charlize Theron because then at least it would have been like an Atomic Blonde noir type of thing. Have you ever watched Atomic Blonde?
Oh, I love that movie.
It's one of the greatest movies ever made, man. Second thing is, I'm glad you brought up American Horror Story. You have not covered that or mentioned that at all this season of Fanboy or this season of American Horror Story. I realized that. We can circle back to that, but I didn't want to put that on the public record.
There's a good reason. There's a good reason.
I mean, Taylor Swift is going. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, no, it's all right.
Taylor Swift is not who I want to see in the MCU, but at least it's like MCU adjacent. Now, if this movie grosses $1 billion, get ready for the face of the MCU to start.
Oh, it's a show. It's a show they're giving.
Oh, it's a show.
Disney Plus show. Yeah, thank God. Yeah, but no, I agree with you. Maybe that's why they wanted an obscure character, because they're like, if it fails, we never have to deal with it again.
Yeah.
If it's good, maybe we'll bring her into the bigger universe.
Yeah.
But, maybe that's why, because I was thinking, why didn't I cast her as like, aren't there other blondes?
I feel like they never felt like they got their bang for their buck. This is all conjecture on my part, but I feel like they never felt like they got their bang for their buck with Agent Carter. Like, they really wanted Agent Carter to be that female lead before Black Widow type of scenario that just never took off. My wife watched that show, by the way, and she actually really enjoyed Agent Carter, but my wife went to school for fashion, and she didn't really enjoy the depth of the story because there was none there. She was like, the costume design is great, and I love this period piece. And I was like, oh.
So can I make a general statement about women that's going to insult everybody?
Oh boy,
and chase people away from our podcast?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So it's like what you ever seen women talk about the Marvels?
Yes. No, I haven't seen none actually. I don't know any women that watched that or that show.
So when you turn on YouTube, particularly Grace Randolph or any of these other, when the topic comes up, it's like they're in a fraternity or something, where as soon as you start dissing She-Hulk or dissing the Marvels, they immediately like it's almost like they're taught, because they always say the same thing, and I know another woman who defends it in real life. And they always say, well, I know a lot of people who like that movie, and they start defending it, and they're not willing to admit it was good. They're trying to say there's good aspects to it, and they feel they have to defend their sister.
Right.
They don't know these women. They don't know Tatiana whatever from Mussolini or whatever. They don't know any of the people who are involved in this, but instinctual, because it's a female property, they feel they need to defend womanhood. And by defending the Marvels, you're defending women everywhere.
Yes. I'm converted, man. You really put passion into that. How can I defend
I really believe it. I'm like, something is going on where these women emotionally cannot come. They can't admit that it was trash. That either thing was trash. They just, even with Echo, you confront a woman about Echo, you're like, yo, Echo really sucked, right? And they're like, she did her best.
How is this possible? I have ranted and raved about the sisterhood for years. How is this now just hitting you, bro?
Well, I think you just explained it very easily. You have ranted and raved about the sisterhood, which puts people on the defensive, and I spoke from the heart, and I speak with my hands. People like you better when you speak with your hands.
No, see, I'm darker than you. If I speak with my hands, it seems as if though I'm being threatening, and the next thing you know, I'm getting
calm down. Okay, just calm down. Okay, this is a family show for starters. So to stop. We don't need the violence here. Okay,
take it outside, sir. We told you there's no chicken left. Please calm down.
Swipe up the girl that played Harley Quinn for the Phantom. Well, you're talking about. Margot Robbie? Margot Robbie's not just some girl who played Harley Quinn. Like, she's like a major actress.
But isn't she, though? Isn't she just some bitch that just played a role?
She usually just plays blonde bimbos, which the fact that she just played Barbie is further proof that she just plays blonde.
Oh, they bimbos, big mad that Barbie didn't win anything. They're still big mad.
Oh, they're so mad. Oh, you can't even talk about that with a woman. Speaking of that. What other heroes has Phantom Blonde come across that are relevant? So check this out. They tried to bring her back into the comics, and guess what comic she was a frequent guest star in the late 80s?
I'm gonna say Captain Marvel.
Close. She-Hulk.
Oh, nice.
But it's it's always the usual suspects, right? That they're always trying to shove down our throats.
Does she have any actual powers?
She doesn't have powers. She's just a lady detective who wears a domino mask, and she's blonde, and she has like a little gun, and it's the 40s, so she has like one of those little ones that they, because she has a woman gun. She can't have a man's gun, right? So she has like a little gun, and she fights crime. So there you go. Shaolin says the Luke Cage episode with Iron Fist team up was amazing. I felt like I was watching Heroes for Hire. I love that episode, and that's what I'm saying. If that was the show, and they both battled the same villains they did in their shows, but together, that would be an amazing show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then also, they honestly, I have to say, one of the coolest things about Iron Fist, and he does kung fu, but and I'm a kung fu guy. However, one of the coolest things is not his kung fu; it's his costume.
I'm sorry, bro. Izzy just said the gun that prostitutes carry in their bra. Laughing.
The very gun, man. It's like a 22. It's a 22. I think it's called a holdout pistol. Yeah, the one that you don't pay. She pulls it out. Many a time.
You pay now.
So, oh man, but no, seriously, she's so Luke Cage and Iron Fist. That team up was amazing. It would have been an amazing run if it was like the both of them teaming up, like it was originally in the comic books. And I could go on and on about how Marvel has missed opportunities left and right.
Absolutely.
She said, Vex says that's called girl code, Mantis.
Yeah.
He says it's because women are emotional and they need something to tug on their heartstrings.
Oh. So, okay. Again, not to belabor the point, but we'll see how this does, man. We'll see if Taylor Swift is able to pull in a draw for Disney Plus. Also, just keep in mind something else, man. People watch the shit on Disney Plus. We talk about Disney as if any day now they're going to be folding, but motherfuckers are still doing fairly well.
No, they're not. They're not doing well. Last year they lost $1 billion in their film department.
And we're talking about the MCU, but the subscriber count. I was going through Forbes the other day, and I'm like, everything that seems so gloom and doom, according to YouTube reports, when you actually get down to the fiscal and the financials, the company is doing wildly.
So here's what I'm saying. It's like, that phrase, too big to fail, right? So Disney is technically too big.
Oh, sorry.
I can't bring this guy anywhere. Too big to fail. So Disney as a company is too big to fail. However, their investors are pissed that they're losing this money.
I'd be pissed too if Kevin Feige just kept fucking making absolute nonsense at the behest of people that don't show up to these movies for representation. And here's the thing: you can't even. This is not a red pill podcast, but you can't even not draw the correlation between the poor quality of the films and the shit narratives that they're pushing there. It's like you can't not do that anymore, because if I subtract one, maybe this would get better. But no, they tried to take Blade and make it about black women.
Yes, and children. There were 4 female characters, and he was really the 5th character. And it's four women, 3 one of them's a little girl.
Right.
And I'm like, what? And so that's what their writers' room look like nowadays. So I'm like, what are they producing? What is happening here?
But again, but when they do something like this could prove to be the pivot. Pivots are sometimes small too. I'm not saying this is going to be the thing to save Disney, right? But you take a woman who people absolutely hated seeing at the Super Bowl, but the people who loved seeing her there far outweighed the people who didn't. I hate to be the one to tell you this, you fucking losers in the microcosm, which is the internet. You think your voices are so loud like this bitch and we'll make some CGI videos? Then stop a thing. Did not stop.
Didn't stop a thing. Didn't stop a thing. And so no, you're right. Unfortunately, it's attracting the wrong type of fans.
Yes.
But it certainly will attract fans, and I think this will be. I
Oh,
think
wait,
this is
no,
gonna
I
be
think
hella
it's like
successful.
oh wait, what do you mean by the wrong type of fans? Before I comment, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So here's what I'm saying. What this is ultimately doing, and this is going to bring money to Disney, and that's all Disney cares about. However, they're attracting people who aren't real comic book fans to the comic book property. So now, next time you go on Reddit and want to talk about theories about fucking Wolverine, you're going to have to compete with a bunch of Swifties who are saying, fuck Wolverine. We don't like Wolverine. Don't you hate it when one of your fandoms is infiltrated by these posers?
Well, I don't really hang out in those spaces, but I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But is that not now? I want you to take a deep breath and be pragmatic right now.
Say your words. Say them. Say your words.
Is that not what made the MCU successful in its infancy? Right at its biggest, was it not? Was it not because families could go out before you sweaty dungeon dwelling motherfuckers started complaining on the internet and enjoy a Marvel property with each other? Now I'm with you, Mantis. They made a better quality property then, but there is no conclusive evidence to show that there were more comic accurate fans that went to these movies versus families or people who work. It was family driven. And if
Floyd, families are fine, but here's what I'm saying. You know what?
Families are everything.
Thank you, Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, I love that motherfucker. Family's everything, and this fool leaves them, gets on a plane.
He's like, hurricane. I gotta be somewhere. What I'm saying is,
what do you say?
That the families are there to enjoy science fiction fantasy with people who dress up in costumes and fight crime. They're there for the ride and they enjoy it. They're not there to manipulate the ride.
Okay.
Because you know what I'm saying? And so Swifties and other like bad fans will come and manipulate the ride, and Disney will listen to them because they're so local.
That's why we have them now in this isolated character, right? Allow that to become the most popular, fiscally popular character the MCU has ever produced. But you know what? You don't have to go in those rooms. They say some wild shit like this character is more impactful than Captain America. Let them write all the lesbian articles. I don't care.
It'll start bleeding into the mainstream things. And just like the mistakes that Kevin Feige has made about wokeness, he misunderstood how many people are into woke things. He didn't realize it was a very vocal minority. He's going to start listening, or him and whoever will replace him because his days are numbered. They will start listening and they'll be like, they want more Phantom Blonde and less Captain America.
So I'm not disagreeing with that point. If Kevin Feige's replaced, what needs to happen is you just need to have a person who understands one fundamental truth about comics, right? All you have to do is make it make sense, right? I am so anti-Cyclops being black, but if you give me an Elseworld story where you can somehow explain how that shit happened and it's good, I don't have a fucking problem. Just don't fuck with the main continuity. I don't give a shit.
Right now, he's probably more likely to be gender bends. And by the way, recently during their woke period, Marvel gave many of the X-Men sidekicks who like their costume identities are like ripoffs of the X-Men, and there was a female sidekick to Cyclops.
Right.
And so she might end up in the show. So enjoy that.
I don't know why you hate women so much. Izzy says we're definitely getting Galactus soon. I agree with that, Izzy, and I think we all know who's going to be Galactus. I think we all know who's going to voice him, and I think he's the type of actor with integrity that wouldn't want to make Galactus represent his skin color. But to close out on the Taylor Swift thing, man, yes, I don't want to have to deal with a bunch of Swifties, but I don't occupy these spaces. I get what you're saying, man, but Marvel needs a fiscal win if things are as bad as you say, and they need to bring the families back to it. I'm telling you right now, man, there's something to be said about all those dads that had their daughters watching the Super Bowl with them. And when you see that, it's like, okay, this could mean something. This could mean something. I'll tell you what's not going to help that shit. Having Drake on there or Kendrick Lamar. I don't give a fuck what you say about the culture, man. Fuck y'all, man. Gemini rant. I guarantee the one thing that's not going to happen. I guarantee you they are not going to have a Kendrick Lamar character unless he is segregated to Black Panther. And he's going to play some B villain or some shit like that. But it won't be a mainstay.
Well, because of the violence, neither of them are going to be in the MCU anytime soon.
The violence. Oh,
well, you know,
Kendrick didn't have anything to do with the Canadians getting shot up.
They don't care about that. They don't care about the truth. It's just the mere fact that, you know, it's Disney. It's a family company. But speaking of which, before we get off of the Disney scene and Marvel, one last topic about Marvel. We recently just had one of the best X-Men adaptations ever, X-Men 97. Now they have recently just decided on an actual writer for the movie. Have you heard about this?
You told me about it. I did not know what it was going on with it.
So this is the same person whose only claim to fame, he's a young writer, he's a new jack. Mm-hmm. His only claim to fame is Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
The fuck is that?
That's the recent flop of a Hunger Game movie that stars the girl in Snow White that everyone hates.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Matt, I did see that Chet Hanks explaining the Kendrick and Drake beef to his dad. That was amazing. Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that. I would love to see that. That sounds
it's not a video. It's literally just like he said his dad asked a question and he sent him this long text explaining the whole thing. It's amazing.
Okay, but so are you worried?
Wait, give it to me again. I'm sorry. I was half here because I was reading Matt's thing. Give me that again. Give it to me again. I'm sorry.
So here's what it is. They have chosen the writer for the X-Men movie. Mm-hmm. It is a guy who has almost no credits under his wing. His only major movie was a recent, attempt to do a prequel for the Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which didn't flop, but it didn't do good. Did
you watch it? You usually watch obscure shit like that. Did you watch it?
I didn't. I really don't like that actress. That's the Snow White actress.
Oh yeah.
Rachel Zegler. Oh, I will miss anything. I will pay money. I will pay a movie ticket to avoid watching her.
So what you're saying is if what was it, Gods of Egypt was in theaters, you would go see that over going to see any movie she's in?
Absolutely. Gods of Egypt with a bunch of white dudes in it.
As you said, it was
it's the White Vision.
The White Vision. How do I feel about that, man?
Full circle.
How do I feel about that? Okay, I not new for Marvel, and I'm not a Marvel stan. I'm just being I'm consistent. They usually get low-ranking unknowns, right? That was a pretty big property for that guy to wade in, but it was a prequel, so I kind of figured they were like, if he fails, right? I don't think it's the right move, man. And I know this dude may have been slinging dong on OnlyFans, but it just seems like the obvious thing to do. And it just proves my point with the Taylor Swift thing. Marvel saw the obvious thing and said, this makes sense. Let's take a chance. Here you have yet another obvious thing, a beloved animated franchise that was written by this individual. Let's see what he can do.
Right.
And you check all the woke boxes. This guy's a gay guy that was on OnlyFans. Think about it. Get all types of dicks coming to the movie theater.
Yeah. Hire Bo DeMeo is what he's saying. Hire Bo DeMeo. He did a great job. One of the best seasons of, any adaptation of the comic book. This is one of the best things I've seen.
Yeah.
I really want to know why he was fired. I really wish I could know why he was fired, because I'm assuming he hit on the wrong person or assaulted someone, because I've never seen a firing be this secretive.
Yeah. It's other than the atrocity, which is now, I believe, 5 years and counting of us not knowing why Dr. Disrespect was completely removed from Twitch. We still have no
Gemini rant. Go cook.
No. I gotta save my energy for when we actually talk about Twitch. Yeah, I don't know what's going on and why they fired him and why they can't hire this guy. this is when I really start to lean into what you and Matt are talking about, right? It's clear to me when they do stuff like this, they are not in touch with their fans, man, nor are they interested in being in touch with their fans. And I'm not talking about Snyderverse psychopaths or any of that, outlier shit. I don't know what to say about this, man. I don't know what to say about this. I don't know why you wouldn't just go with the obvious choice on this one, unless it was already predetermined. Contracts do get signed fairly far, and I assume prior to the announcement.
Maybe this can be changed.
I mean, but they also have axed people based off poor performances of shit they're working on currently. Like, and if I'm a Disney exec and I see that Hunger Games shit, I'm like, yeah, get them out of here, bro.
Yeah, what is this? What is this? Izzy says, do they have a set date for the new Deadpool? Not only do they have a set date, they just went on tickets just went on advance sale. And actually, speaking of Marvel, Deadpool and versus Wolverine has broken the record of pre-sales for any R-rated movie. So,
the obvious, right? What happens when you do the obvious?
Right. Right. This was a no-brainer that this was going to bring in money.
Yes.
There's no way. And so why? Yeah, I mean, hopefully he realizes. But if if Kevin Feige keeps making these weird experimental choices, like he's like, let's have a writer who's no one has heard of write my precious X-Men movie. Like,
can I ask you a question? Do you honestly believe, and this is not a trick or a got him question, I'm asking if you honestly believe that Kevin Feige is sitting at the helm in regards to all the quote unquote woke decisions, poor creative decisions, or do you think it's a subcommittee of people he's allowed to infiltrate in his beloved franchise and then some social public pressures as well?
So here's that's a good question. That's a good question. I'm going to answer it. Let me ask you, do you like music biopics?
Sure. Yeah.
Those movies about Lumbamba or whatever, Elvis or whatever. And so they all have the same formula, right?
Mm-hmm.
The person's hardworking and a nobody, and they get discovered, and then they become a rock star, and everything's good, and they're like, whoa, and it's just like, Straight Outta Compton, all these things, they're all the same. And so they're doing great. They're living the dream. And then they get too haughty, right? They're too into themselves. And they're like, I got all these fly bitches around me, and I'm doing cocaine during the morning and all this shit. And then they have an epic fall, and their quality of music starts sucking.
Right.
I think it's exactly that. I think that once upon a time, Kevin Feige was a fanboy who knew Marvel, who knew the fans, understood things, and now that he's super rich and he's making $50 million a movie, just as a producer, he's out of touch and he's letting other people do things. He's like, whatever, man, they'll do whatever I want, and he's signing off on stupid things. He's letting people pitch him bad ideas, and he's just saying yes.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's like, whatever, bring in the whores, bring in the whores. So, and it's sad, and that's why I think he needs to be replaced.
That was a very well. Did you have that off the top, or was that pre-prepared?
That's off the top, man, off the top.
You've been ruminating on that one for a while, though. Clearly,
I have strong feelings about this topic. Strong feelings, very strong feelings.
Matt says, you want to put his comment up? I think that's if they don't hire the Mayo guy for the X-Men movie, they should have hired Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, the directors of the D&D movie.
So that's crazy. I absolutely agree with that, Matt. Like,
yeah, I have no problem.
They weren't even on my radar, but I really like that movie.
It was really good, and in fact, I was expecting a huge cheese fest, and there was a lot of cheese in that movie, but it actually just turned out to be really great, all the way down to
fun movie.
What's my man's name from Bridgerton? Bridget, is that?
Jean-Vel, whatever.
What class character did he play again? I forgot.
He's a paladin.
Yeah, he was the perfect paladin. He just kept showing up with moral highbrow and shit like that.
He's better than everybody in every way. Oh my god, that was actually a really fun movie.
Good stuff.
And it did well on streaming. It didn't do good in the movies. But once again, D&D is a hard brand to sell to the mainstream.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I thought it was great. Good call, Matt. That was very good call.
Very good call, man.
The movie wasn't a hot and not the best movie, but I think it was a really good team movie in which I think the X-Men needs to be. Yeah, no, I think I left the movie loving it, but I understand why people didn't go because like D&D. You know, how do you get normies to go to a D&D movie?
Was there not a D&D movie that might have fucked shit up prior to this one? There was a Dungeons and Dragons movie before this.
Oh, right, there were a couple.
Yeah.
Yo, it was one of the Wayans brothers.
Oh yeah,
It was one of the Wayans brothers and some white kid comedian.
Yeah, that good shit.
And they did a couple of them, and they were like really bad. After a while, you know, it got to the point where the series was just straight to DVD.
Oh, I think it's got the villain from The Mummy in it as well.
Oh, that dude's in every bad movie ever made.
Yo, The Mummy, shout out to The Mummy, man. Had the original Mummy had some of the greatest just off the wall fight scenes ever. Do you just remember that scene when he's fighting all the mummies in there and it's like a 19-hit combo? I'm like, this is absolutely amazing.
So you know how they do like digital remasterings?
Yeah.
Movies? I think the Mummy trilogy is so good. They need to fix all the special effects on all of them because back in the day, they tried all these special effects, but the CGI wasn't there yet.
No, it wasn't.
And so they have some really bad special effects in movies that are really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be into that.
Yeah, I think somebody should pay to like, fix up, zhuzh up the special effects and make it out.
Unpopular opinion. I went to go see the new Mummy with Tom Cruise, and he's actually fucking hilarious in that movie. Tom Cruise is hilarious.
Hilarious in like a bad way?
Like everything he does is amazingly hilarious in that movie. The Mummy Returns has probably the worst CGI. Yeah, is that with The Rock? That was pretty bad. And
when they tried to, I don't think people were CGIing full people yet, and they're like, let's CGI him, and I was like, what is that thing? I was like scared. It's supposed to be The Rock. It's supposed to be a young Rock.
Do you remember that they made a Mummy with Jet Li? Well, you guys don't remember that.
I know I do. It was one of the villains, right? He was the
Chinese mummy.
All these damn mummies. There's so many mummies.
All right, moving along. What else have we got? What else have we got tonight?
He says The Mummy Returns is probably the worst CGI I've ever seen. And I mean, yeah, no, absolutely. So do you want to talk about shenanigans? Particularly I want to talk about Cameron, my man Cameron. Killer Kid Cameron, right? We all love him.
Right.
I assume we love
Killer
him.
Cam.
Yeah. So he was recently on CNN, and I want us all to watch it.
Yeah.
And I want us to discuss what
I
happened.
knew we were going to talk about this next, so I ended the IG. I knew.
You don't want us to just get thrown off naturally.
It's my personal account, motherfucker. When we make a fanboy account, then we can do all that shit.
Oh, okay. Speaking about hoity-toity, motherfuckers.
On the internet, what a bum. Cam was not playing. Cameron, man, what a resurgence, right, man? Completely eviscerated Melissa Ford from the Joe Budden show. Only motherfucker I've ever seen to make you a meme on his pants and not get canceled. And she tried to not. Okay, I think that she tried to cancel him. The suggestion that him and Mace were, because they had went to a couple of brothels, blah, 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 were potentially serviced by people that were not of age. Just the allegation itself is wild, and it was inflammatory, and you were hoping people were going to come after him. But Cam survived it. Just like a bunch of other things. Cam survived the complete dismantling of Dipset. Still around. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him.
Well, here's what I'm saying. If you notice, you know what I find funny? I love how there's a second life. Basically, there's a second life for every rapper or hip-hop or even radio artist that me and you liked back when we were young.
Yeah, podcasting, man. Get these. A lot of these
they're disappear for like 15 years, 20 years, and then they suddenly come back and like, I got a podcast, and they're a big deal. And so the fact that CNN would get Killer Kid Cameron on a freaking show is wild. That is totally wild.
Just Cam.
What next? Fabulous?
Yeah, just him being on a news network. Who greenlit this?
Who said it? Who did this? Oh my god! So guys, let's take a look at what's going on up in the hood, basically, because I'm what I love is he keeps it 100 in this interview.
talent agent for this joint. Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint y'all invited me to. Yo, who booked me for this joint?
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the rapper Cameron's appearance on CNN, where he was brought to speak about the situation with Sean Diddy Combs.
And yo, by the way, to my man ABL, Anthony Brian Logan, fair use, brother, fair use.
Yeah. Why is he a copy striker?
No,
Also
but
known as
it's
Puff
funny when
Daddy.
he plays
We all know the
CNN
story
and stuff.
about
He
Puff.
says that.
He's been
pauses it,
radio
he says it.
security at his home in Los Angeles and Miami, Florida. There was also a video of him beating up his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, back in 2016 in Los Angeles. So there's quite a bit going on with Puff. Now, Cameron, been around for a long time, about 48, 49 years old, way too old to be acting like that on CNN. But we'll talk about that in a minute. He was around during Puff's time.
Whoa, okay, so that's interesting. That's an interesting take right there.
But not surprising point from your boy here, Not a surprising point.
So
and I'm not mad at him.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him, but it is interesting. Is there such a thing as being too old to act hood? Is hood built into one from a culture and something you can't actually write out of yourself? Should suddenly you be articulate at the age of 48 when you've been raised in the hood?
No, because I got the perfect answer to this. Because everyone wants to go polar extreme, and that's what people want. They want to turn this into an inflammatory just debate amongst black folks and shit like that. But I know a lot of motherfuckers his age, and he's only a few years older than me, who just don't act that way. I know a lot of cats from the hood that is still with the shits, Mantis, and they are just more reserved than that. You know what I'm saying? And but this is Cameron's personality.
Right.
That's why I'm not surprised by it. You know what I'm saying? So should he act a different way? Absolutely. But you knew who he was, or you didn't before you brought him on. You brought him on to be this personality, to be Cameron, right? I don't go to Cameron for insightful stuff, even though he does say some insightful things on his podcast with Mace every once in a while. I go to them because they make me laugh. And, a couple of funny guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're funny old motherfuckers with funny old motherfucker takes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't bring them up anywhere to get a. And what were they thinking? And what were they thinking for this poor black woman, right? Did she not know better? Have you never listened to the man's music?
Well, I'll tell you why she didn't know better. I'll tell you why. Because when she signs off with him, when it's time to sign off, she says his real name. She's like, Cameron, have a nice night.
Oh, that was a shot. That was a shot. That was my mistake. That was a shot.
Oh, you think she was like,
yeah, and that was a shot. That was a shot. That was definitely a shot.
And he is a close friend with Mace. Cameron and Mace grew up together, Harlem, New York City, played basketball together. And at one point, Mace was signed to Puff.
By the way, before anyone, I know a lot of people talk shit about Mace. Yo, Mace is an amazing lyricist. He's an amazing lyricist, but I think people used to make fun of him because he was like the sidekick of Puffy for a while.
Yeah, he was the shiny suit. When he became shiny suit Mace, that's when people stopped taking him serious.
Right, yeah. But I will say that he is actually a really good lyricist.
Yeah, the Killer Cam and Murder Mace stuff was dope.
Yeah.
Bad Boy. They got a lot of songs together. I think Mace did one album over there, Harlem World. Shout out to Mace. Now, if you ask me, Mace would have been a better guy to bring on CNN and talk about Puff, because Mace knows Puff probably better than Cameron does. Because
God, it just hit me. You don't think Puff did something to Mace, do you?
Like touched him?
Well, apparently he's touching everybody. No, because there's all this talk about Puff Daddy and all this shit. Like,
I don't think Mace will. I don't think Mace will.
Puffy and Usher and Justin Bieber.
Yeah, Usher's mom is the diddler. They call him. Is he?
Holy shit. Sorry.
No, I don't think Mace. I don't think Mace, only because he wouldn't want that type of shit to come out later where anything like that happen. I'm going mental. His name is Cameron. It's like when people say Just us. It's just Jesus and Cameron.
No, that is funny. That is funny.
He was around him on the label, but for some reason, they brought Cameron on, and what happened was a disaster, a complete disaster.
And
but
you know what happened? You know what
Cam,
it was?
like I know
I'll tell you right now. You know what it was?
What?
It's that CNN had him on a couple years back, and they had basically they have one rappers. You know, they're like, we have something going on in the rap world, and they have like one dusty handwritten phone number. Right. And they're like, oh, we know a rapper. Let's invite him on. And they have no context, or they don't study these people or understand.
No. Actually, shout out to him. You know who had a better understanding of hip hop, and it's this person you would just not think. It won't be the first person to come to your mind. Chris Cuomo. That guy actually knew hip hop. Believe it or not. Yeah, sit with that shit for a second. Chris Cuomo knows a lot about hip hop.
That's insane.
Yeah, blew my mind, bro. Blew my mind. Pause. No diddler, no Diddy.
No Diddy.
Yo, did you hear about Diddy's son going crazy?
This was predictable, and I gotta
wait. What?
Diddy's son made a song like snapping on people for making fun of his father and saying no Diddy and shit. He's like, I dare you to say it in my face. I'm like, who's gonna be scared to say anything in your face, bro?
Right. It's
maybe your security, but not you.
But I do remember that.
kind of side with him a little bit. At a certain point, he's like, yo, who is a talent director for this? Who brought me on? That was a great question, because I would never have brought Cameron on CNN. He's done this before. Now, before we get to the pressing clip, let's look at some of his history, shall we? Because this is not a new thing. Back in 2003, he had an infamous interview with Bill O'Reilly when he was with Dame Dash.
Yeah, we're going to discuss
this. You see the headline here. Cameron recalls being warned about Bill O'Reilly before the famous 2003 interview in which the ex-Fox News host suggested the rapper's music encourages gun violence, okay? Now, you see what he has on right there, a Utah Jazz jersey back in the 2003 oversized pants and shoes and whatnot days. The oversized fitted cap. It's about 2 or 3 sizes.
Anthony, I love him, but here's the being judgmental.
You can kind of see what kind of guy we're dealing with.
Where'd you start? Current affair, right?
No, wrong.
Well, you're looking I got done on you, doggy.
Cameron,
I'm gonna get at you in a minute.
You go ahead. You get at me.
I'm gonna get at you.
You go ahead. You get at me. This interview was a dumpster fire, and you can kind of tell what Cam was going to do on this one. Here's another one. Anderson Cooper, 2007.
Oh my!
And
goodness.
He's going to talk about, hey, if it was a serial killer next door, what would I do?
Oh, yeah.
Is there any situation where you think it's okay to talk to the police?
Yeah, definitely. Say hello, how you feel, everything all right, period.
That's it.
There's nothing really to talk about with the police. I mean, for what?
If there's a serial killer living next door to you, though, and you know that person is, killing people, would you be a snitch if you called police and told them?
If I knew the serial killer was living next door to me?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't call and tell anybody on them, but I'll probably move, but I'm not going to call and be like, the serial killer's in 4E.
So when you see stuff like this, this one from 07, the first one from 03, you're like, you know what? That might not be the guy we got to bring on right now to CNN. That might not be the way. No, of course, he's older now. He was much younger back then. He's about...
Yo, but here's what I'm saying. That's an interesting thing. Do you squeal on a serial killer in the hood?
Well, okay, you're setting me up here.
I am. That's why when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is a great way to set Steve up.
Well, what do you qualify as a serial killer?
He's bringing people into his house and they're not coming out.
Well, how many people does he have to kill for them to be a serial? If you're going to be
3 or 4.
3 or 4. Now that's across the board. Does the killing have to happen in his house, or is it just 3 or 4 or more killings?
Here's what I'm saying. You notice that he brings hoes back to his place and they never leave, and you have noticed, and it's been 4 times already.
So only hoes. What if he's a serial killer that says, for instance, kills multiple people within that same 5-block radius in your neighborhood? Does that make him a serial killer?
I mean, yeah, I would say, right?
What if he killed these people over something like, say, for instance, stepping on his shoe. He was maladjusted.
Well, that makes it worse. I think that makes it worse. Right?
And that's why
for scuffing my sneaker. You're gonna kill somebody.
And that's why Cameron can't snitch on a serial killer, because technically anyone that he's claiming to chill with who's got mad bodies is a serial killer, aren't they? By any standard. If you've
okay, wait, hold on. But so I would answer differently. I would be like, street justice will handle it.
Street justice will handle what?
A serial killer in your neighborhood. I don't think anyone puts up with
So the street justice handle the thug who's killed?
No, not the thug, but you know, we're talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah. If Jeffrey Dahmer lived in the hood, most hoods would handle it without.
So as long as he's just, if he's chopping people up, bad. But if he's killed your brother, your uncle, and your cousin, and maybe a small 6-year-old with a stray bullet, they all right though.
Over business. No, wait, hold on. I'm not justifying that. I want to be clear. I'm not justifying. I'm just saying what the hood mentality is. And so he's not saying this, but like I would have been like, yeah, the streets will handle that if there's Jeffrey Dahmer's in my neighborhood.
No, I see. That's what I'm saying. We got to broaden the definition of serial killer, and we actually don't have to broaden it. We just got to be consistent with it, right? We just got to be. Jeffrey would be eating good in the hood. He did eat good in the hood. And in fact, I can see Cameron being in a tub in Jeffrey's house. Nah, I mean, for me personally, man, with this situation, I remember when this happened. This was the stop snitching shit. I think this was around the same time Lil C's got friggin' jammed up and snitched on Lil Kim. That's where this whole thing happens. That's why he's responding to this, because it was a public or a hood outcry. Because Lil C's, who I don't know why y'all thought, you know. What is your impression of Lil C's? Did you ever think that he was like the type of dude that he's a little kid?
Right.
Gonna tell him? So
oh no, you know what? Oh no, I just realized I forgot to add a topic we were gonna hit up. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. Let's listen.
But Matt says no one likes a narc. That's absolutely true.
Except for the person that's being held against their will in someone else's house.
In Nas's, and Nas obviously didn't make this up or anything, but it is well articulated in his 10 Commandments of the Streets. You never cooperate with the law is one of them, and I think that sounds fair.
You never cooperate with the law?
Maybe not never, but very rarely. Very rarely cooperate.
Right. I bet you Nas pays his taxes.
48, 49.
I bet he does. No, you're right.
9 years old, approaching 50. You would think he'd be a little bit more mature. And things kind of started off that way, but they quickly devolved. Now, let's go ahead and check this out. And of course, I will link to everything in the box. And without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Thanks for being here. First, when you saw that video,
it's got a bucket hat on.
Diddy, Cassie in that hotel, did you recognize that Sean Combs?
Oh my god!
And let's get some fair use, CNN. Fair use. Don't give me no copyright.
Fair use.
What I want to say first of all, when I seen the video, everything in the video was egregious. I'm against. I don't support all the charges that's alleged against him. I don't support any of that trafficking minors. Domestic violence, I'm totally against it. So when I seen the video, I was kind of upset with it. Being that I know him, he's not necessarily a friend, but I was upset when I seen it. But
did you recognize him?
I just said,
did you recognize that kind of anger at all from your experiences?
I don't know like that. What did you mean? Do I be recognized? Do I recognize him? I see.
He got a quick temper because it started off pretty good. He was just giving his opinion. It's like, I saw what happened in the video.
Bitch,
I don't condone it, all this and that.
Right.
That's the right answer. And then when she's asking about did you recognize now, he just,
pause it. Look at that face. That face is not a woman that's come for peace.
And actually, you know what? He probably sensed that and probably aggravated him throughout the interview.
Yeah, look at him.
Leading up to what he finally did, because he could tell that she was like one of these highfalutin negresses.
You can't say
judging
that.
him.
You can't say highfalutin negresses.
Highfalutin negresses judging him the entire time.
Bex is going to come back here in 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead.
Rather than just answering how somebody would answer if they don't really know him that well, he just kind of snaps here.
You know, what do you mean my experiences? I seen them and I thought it was disgusting. I didn't do a zoom in to see if it was really him or nothing, but he admitted it was him. So yeah, it was him.
What did you think about the apology that he gave in that other video?
Ain't me for this. The apology ain't for me to decide, for Cassie. What I think about it don't matter. He ain't do nothing to me. Cassie need to ask Cassie if she accept the apology. I told you how I feel. I said what I said.
I want to play a conversation.
I agree with him 1,000% right there.
Right.
This is the problem with celebrityism and cancel culture and all this stuff. Why are these people apologizing to the world at large? There's only one person who deserves an apology, and it's Cassie.
So the reason that he's publicly apologizing, obviously what you're saying,
because it's fake, yeah.
No, maybe not even just that, but because now the world has a say in it, right? And there are consequences outside of the millions he paid Cassie, right? Now there are other consequences. He's already lost all his brands. Maybe he senses the pressure of the impending consequence, and that consequence is coming from the world, and that could mean a few different things in type. Maybe he won't do any jail time, but Puffy strikes me as the type of guy that needs to be in the public limelight. And even if he faded into obscurity with his millions right now, you think Puffy would be happy not being known? Think about that for a second.
No.
Never being able to go out to another Met Gala. Everywhere he goes. Do you think Puffy could understand what it would be like to be O.J. Simpson before he died, right after getting acquitted, and then going to jail? That's where Puffy's heading. He's heading to that obscure island where Hulk Hogan and the guy from Seinfeld are.
It's going to take at least a decade, if not more, for people to warm up to him and be like, oh, well, he's misunderstood. He paid his time. But he's going to have a period of darkness where he can't get a fucking loan. People will not say hi to him. He's not being invited to parties.
Yeah.
Even if he has hoes, they don't want him.
Yeah, they can't. No public hoes, right?
Right. Yeah.
You got to change it up when you Uber Eats shit. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what's funny? I love. It's funny because, fame and glory and power, these are all currencies. Yeah. And so it's so funny that he's like, before he used to be worried about money and all this stuff, but when he was younger, but now he really cares about his fame, his reputation, things like this. It's super important to people like that. And that's sad because, I'm a nobody, right? And so I am comfortable. If everyone wants to hate me and cancel me because stupid shit I said on my podcast, well, so be it. But to him, it's the end of the world.
Yeah,
that's fate worse than that.
That's the trap. One of the trappings of fame, right? It's so contingent upon the world. That's why it doesn't surprise me that he made a public apology.
It's of the world.
Yeah, he's a public figure. You know what I'm saying?
And sorry.
No, that's it.
And I was just gonna say, remember, as Christians, for anyone who's out there who is a Christian, we need to be fighting the things that are of the world. We need to be not of
Puffy.
The world.
Like Puffy.
Yes, Puffy is of the world, and we're about to see Cameron be very much of the world.
Let's see. Hello, Dragon Lady.
Dragon Lady, what up? Welcome to the stream. We're checking out on Cameron's take on the P. Diddy thing via CNN. Let's check this out. Our boy Anthony Brian Logan, our correspondent, is checking it out for us.
You had on your podcast back in September with Mace. Listen.
Yeah.
When you had your record deal, why did you take me to Biggie Smalls and not Bad Boy?
Now, this is who they should have brought on, Mace, because like I said, Mace and Puff know each other better than Cam and Puff.
Probably know
they should have had Mace
well.
on. I don't know why they brought Cam on CNN to talk about Mace, then talk about Puff. It's like you're going through an extra layer, the middleman. Go straight to the person who would know.
Man, it's almost going to bring me to tears to say this. Being that I saw you as such a good friend, I wanted to put you with somebody I knew with.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. A lot of people ask me that on Instagram, man. Don't have me that's why I here crying and shit, man. I don't want to get emotional in here, man.
Instantly, I knew Biggie would do right by you.
Now, let's pause right here. They have a podcast, Cam and Mace, called It Is What It Is. They talk about sports and other things, social stuff. At one point, they had O.J. Simpson as a recurring guest, RIP to him. I think they had Mark Jackson, who was at one point Golden State Warriors coach, also a color commentator on television. I'm not sure if they have him still right now, but that's the show they have. Now, Cameron is going to respond to this dumpster fire on that show. We'll get to that interview or that segment from the show in just one moment. Y'all hang tight.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated his artists?
So I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint. I don't know.
That's right. He said he's gonna go get some cheeks after this horsepower thing. So I know that's like 90s or early 2000s slang, right? And so what this wealthy man is doing is slamming one of those mini energy drinks that you get over the counter at a bodega that supposedly gets you hard and ready to go and bang better, which is really just an energy drink at the end of the day. And then he announced it on national television.
Yeah, and look at her face.
And that's what I'm saying. She's up there. Her nose is up there. She is disgusted right now. She is disgusted.
Or enthralled. Maybe she's feeling it. She's like, oh, yeah.
Me wonders what he could have slammed that after the interview. Interview was only a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe he said it to entice her.
Yeah.
She's a little titillated. He said, Sheldon says Cameron is insane. Yeah, I can't believe he did that.
I don't know why he did that. Now, I don't have to really explain or really line out what just happened right there, but you could put two and two together. He drank a stimulant for some activities with a young lady. We put it to you that way. Okay, keep everything PG-13 around these parts.
I'm just going off what Mace said. Mace took me to Biggie. I don't really know Puffers like Mace know Puff. So I appreciate what Mace said, and of course, that's my brother, so if he felt that way, then he felt that way. I can't really tell you how Puff moves or anything like that. Mace may know better than me because he was signed to Puff. I wasn't. But
exactly. I agree with that. You know, Mace would know better.
Right.
Now, as soon as you drank the horsepower, that should have been in an interview. Cut the camera right there. But of course, CNN, these guys are kind of dumb, so they don't do what needs to be done.
That's the best thing I've seen all night.
At 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. It's called It Is What It Is. And y'all make sure y'all check it out. I mean, I might get some more information out of Mace from there, but for me to tell you how Puff act and all that, I don't know. I never was signed to him.
Yeah. What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Oh boy, this is it. This has got to be what triggers him.
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that y'all invited me to. Who booked me for this joint?
Right.
I don't be sitting around watching Diddy and all that.
Cameron,
yeah,
thanks.
Come on, man.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me. You enjoy.
All right, so that's that. Now,
she
like
said, Cameron. But the fact that he immediately was like, who booked me on this?
Yo, but in all honesty, let's not be stupid, right? Or pretend to be stupid. And let's not let Cameron pretend to be stupid. They probably sent over a generalized skeleton of what they were going to be discussing. And this motherfucker came on to show his ass. Or he didn't know and he just was his authentic self. Either way, the internet wins, right? The buffoonery is max level, man.
Actually, you're right. There's no way at his level of fame that he is not his talent, like his manager or talent agent, isn't like, can I see the questions before we let him on? And he decided.
Ask me for questions before an interview. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm saying. When I book someone for a dental podcast at my job, people are like, can I have the questions first? And I was like, what do you think he's going to do? What do you think he's going to say? So you're right, but like, there's no way he didn't know, and you're absolutely right. I didn't even think about this. He prepared this, and this is how he was going to. This is how he promoted
himself. And
it is what it is at podcast, right?
Yeah. If I didn't know any better, I would think this is a spoof commercial for them. I would think they just made this shit up for their show, and this is yet another memeable Cameron moment.
Somebody said, another YouTuber, I remember they said they saw the clip and they said, I saw that on Twitter. I thought that was a meme. I thought that was like a sketch, an SNL sketch or something someone was doing.
No. Man, and that's Cameron's superpower, man. That's his superpower. You know what I'm saying?
God bless him, man. I'm glad he made something of himself.
Cameron is, I'm telling you right now, man, he is who he is. Whether you like him or you don't like him, that's him. He's not playing a character. When Cameron was in the movie Paid in Full, he didn't change into Alpo. He made Alpo change into him on the film. He was just Cameron on the screen. That's who he is. Absolutely. Cam just regained a fan, Shaolin says.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's up, man. Yeah, as a matter of fact, after the stream ends, I'm going to be listening to some old school Cameron.
Might as well, right? Might as well. What does Mr. Logan have to say in regards to the rest of this?
He responded to the interview and gave his side of the story on
this is directly
the show.
after
So I guess
because he has
didn't go to sleep. He has on the same clothes from the interview.
Yep. Same shit.
Wait, what did he say?
Maybe he didn't go to sleep. He has on the same clothes from the interview.
You know, it's hysterical. He just said maybe he didn't go to sleep. He just said in the interview, I'm going to go slam some cheeks. So obviously he didn't sleep. He had an energy drink in him. He was banging a hoe all night and then went straight to the podcast.
He was off on that horsepower shit.
Yo, play that air horn again, because shout out to Cameron for doing what he said he'd do. Slamming those cheeks and then going straight to podcast.
Yeah, getting right in. Wednesday nights, man. It is what it is.
Interview.
My thing about it was, Mace, that is that they didn't invite me on to say about how successful our show is or the positive stuff we do in the community.
Listen, Cam, you know, you're not, come on, man. You've been around media, music, the industry for a long time. You know they don't care about that. You know if they bring you on, it's about the pressing issue. The hot button issue is going to get clicks and views and ratings. Yep. Puff Daddy, Cassie, the video. They're not talking about your podcast and all of that. Now, you could talk about Puff, and at the end of it, you could say, hey, well, we'll talk about it more. I'll ask Mace more on It Is What It Is on YouTube, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday. You could say something like that and promote yourself that way. But what you did just was a dumpster fire. And now here I am reporting on a dumpster fire rather than all the so-called positive stuff you guys do.
Whoa.
Every day, 5 days.
And so I understand why Anthony Brian Logan, you know, as who he is speaking.
Yeah.
I do not define that as dumpster fire.
What, their podcast or their lifestyle? Which part?
No, he's saying the interview. The interview was not a dumpster fire. A dumpster fire is when someone looks like an asshole. He doesn't look like a fool. He actually looks like the winner in this.
So, and it's funny because even if you don't think that intellectually he comes off that well represented, he does do quite a good job at leaning towards what people love to hate about CNN. Charged interviews, nonsensical questions, and yeah, he does a good job in that sense. But I see where Mr. Logan's coming from, where it's like, you're too old to be representing this stereotype of the community. You're too old to go on CNN and not believe that someone's going to watch you and think that this is how everyone is. That's where he's coming from on this one.
Oh, right. Obviously, you know, when they act a fool, they make us all look like fools, right? And so he acts like he doesn't know how to behave on a simple interview.
Yeah.
However, I am.
Why should he have to behave on that interview? That was a dumb ass interview, man.
That was a dumb ass interview.
Why did you get maced, bro?
And like I said, they had the phone number for one rapper that they had interviewed 5 years earlier, and they're like, "Let's call this guy." And they don't know the difference between the rappers. They assume they all know each other. It was an avalanche of stupidity. And so that sister interviewed him. She should be ashamed.
Yo, and the booking person should be upset. Everyone involved should be upset about this, except for Cameron, because though he came off as an ignorant ass motherfucker, he did amazing in an ignorant ass situation, man.
And I'm saying I'm going to start listening to his podcast, which I didn't before, and Shaolin is as well.
Yo, the crazy part about it is, like, how else can you respond to such, like, I'm not Puffy. He started off by saying, I don't support anything that's being alleged that he's done. Actually, there's a lot of growth there, because if he was really on that still snitching shit, no snitching shit, he wouldn't have showed up at all, like, to commentate on that. But he showed up. He's like, I don't agree with any of that stuff.
But do you notice he claimed that he thought that he was there to talk about his podcast, like as if,
No.
as if CNN wants to talk to you about your podcast.
I don't want to talk about that shit. I mean, shout out to the podcast, man. But why wouldn't
Right.
ESPN call you?
Matt says not all rappers look alike. There we go.
That's what I'd be saying.
Absolutely. And so I was looking at our bag of tricks, and it looks like we also have
DJ.
some of Jason said DJ Academics. I think he touches on this, but he's also speaking about Meek Mills and Diddy.
My goodness. Let's play that shit, please. I know we're running out of time, but we gotta talk. Academics, who's caught up in some controversy himself, man. We had covered on here a few months back that a former girlfriend or former friend was alleging that she was sexually accosted at Academic's house. She brought charges against a couple of his homeboys. I'm giving you the paraphrased chronological order of things. The police reviewed some tape because Academics has enough sense to be recording everything that's going on in his house, and they found no wrongdoing. And now she's suing him in a civil suit, because that's what you do when there's no legal. Like, I can't press charges.
It's what you do when you want money. It's what you do when you want money. Get real.
And
Get
actually
real.
using the same attorney as the gentleman who's suing Diddy in regard to the Meek Mill, Usher, sex.
Basically Johnny Cochran.
Yeah.
Johnny Cochran 2.0.
So it's crazy though, because here we have Academics, and they should have brought Academics on CNN. That's who they should have brought on. But play it. Let me not even say that.
Matt says, what happened to Meek Mills?
What happened to Meek Mill? Oh man, what hasn't happened? And no, it's all alleged, Matt. Like, everyone's turned Meek Mill from the guy that we were all watching campaign for criminal reform in the streets, for the streets, to now he's the diddler. I mean, he's the diddled. He's not even the diddler. He's the diddled.
There was a short time there where people thought he was so up and coming that he was going to usurp every rapper, right?
Yeah.
He was gonna rip everybody down. He's going to be the new shit. And then he drops his album, and it's like, whatever. It's like, okay, it's decent.
He took a public L, which I think is still up to debate, to Drake. Took a public L when Nicki Minaj broke up with him, which I think is a public W.
And for a second, real quick, he took an L to Drake.
That's what I just said.
That he took an L to Drake. I want you all to think about that. Think about how low your life has gotten.
No. Sorry. This door is closed. No new Drake haters allowed. I've been saying this shit forever. Y'all can't come jump on here now, man. And fuck Kendrick Lamar too. I want to make sure I said fuck Kendrick
Did you
Lamar.
just say that?
I said it, man. Fuck these fools. I've been saying this shit forever. Make sure you check out Mike Check over on Riz Radio, man. Well, we keep these motherfucking rappers in line, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something else about Kendrick Lamar. J. Cole was right about him. He just can't stand thinking about someone else being considered for something. But fuck Kendrick. Fuck Meek Mill. Fuck all these fools, man.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm surprised at what you said, but I
why are you
I have a lot of
surprised?
I have a lot of respect, because I thought for a while there, before the actual like beef got hot, you were a Kendrick guy.
No. I'm not an anyone guy. I support people who have a consistency of talent and lyrical genius, right?
Are you not describing Kendrick?
No, I'm not describing Kendrick, because unlike the rest of you motherfuckers, I listen to music and I can say good, bad, good, bad. And yo, I'm gonna keep it a whole bean. There's a lot of shit on To Pimp a Butterfly where I'm like, yo, the producer should have stepped in and made this song not exist on here. or this interlude is a bunch of self-indulgence. But I
agree with that.
I will remain historically accurate because not everyone who's repping for Kendrick in the culture repped for him when Big Steppers came out.
Right.
Go on the internet, motherfuckers. Don't trust me. Y'all tried to burn that man down when that album came out. Now y'all want to be on his dick talking about Team Kendrick.
I am not Team Kendrick.
Not you. I'm talking about these people who pretend to like hip hop. The fuck out of here. The door is on the right. Get the fuck out. Fuck Kendrick. Fuck all y'all, man.
Okay, so he is not the Kendrick lover we thought he was. Let's hear how we got diddled.
And fuck all the other Geminis too. It's my mom.
And also, by the way, it sounded like I had a lot of pleasure when I said that. I have no pleasure in this story.
The diddler is a part of the white vision.
Oh God, let's hear about how Paul Bettany graped Meek Mill.
No invite though. You didn't get invited though.
Nah,
you would have gone.
He invited me before he got caught up in the shit, and I could have smelled that setup from a mile away. Okay?
He invited you where?
To a party.
Oh,
you know what I mean? No,
Diddy.
Diddy.
Diddy. Oh, claiming you turned down the invite.
No, of course I turned the invite down. No,
that's what everybody's saying. Hindsight.
He wouldn't have had me in a freak off. He would have had me probably, you know what I mean, get knocked off. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Diddy's one of those guys. This was when I was never going at him, but like his, you know, he has like this like side chick. Her name's like Young Miami from the City Girls. For whatever reason, she started like kind of getting at me. So I just said it with the truth. I said, yo, you're a side chick. Like for whatever reasons, these girls can rap about selling. I for money. I only fuck a nigga with a bag, but the moment I called her a side chick, she was like bawling online. Like, oh my God, I'm not no side chick. I'm like, you just say for a bag. Like, what's better, for a bag or being a side? So anyway, remember.
So I have comments, but I'm not going to make them. I've already done my attack on women earlier, but you know what I'm thinking.
He tried to kill me one time. He was just like, yo, Playboy, and I get it, because he was just basically trying to say like, yo, bro. We all men. I'm balanced to the roster. Yo, I'm 50. I got 30 bitches. Like, yo, you're probably giving me headaches by having me.
Fucking up my second line.
No,
yeah, I gotta go talk to this girl, explain to her why I have 30 other bitches, and she's not
academic. Pause it for a second.
You know what I mean?
Academics is not saying that young whore was trying to get with him. He's saying that he said that young whore was trying to get at him, right. Like trying to she was shooting shots. She was attacking him. Yeah.
Because he saw her.
Yeah.
And he knew what was up. He was calling her on that.
He's insinuating that she removed the phallus from her mouth to then free up her Twitter fingers so she can say some stuff.
Yeah, she said Young Miami. So you know these whores by name?
Yeah, we talked about this one night on Fanboy because I was getting at her and Greg DeStallion.
Oh, that shit.
Yeah, I was getting at her and Greg, and everyone got mad at me. Everyone turned on me.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how there's only a handful of like people who are engaged in this whole shit? Like, there's only 3 whores out there. It's the same 3 bitches sucking all the dick out there. Their names just keep coming up, and meanwhile, like, you know, Bex has a poster of them. That's just like, this is my girl. This is my girl, right? Idolize someone else, please. For the love of God, save your soul.
Oh, Bex says, "Mantis, let's not go there. You know a lot of whores by name."
No, that's cool. That's true. That's true. I know too many whores.
Talk about Young Miami anymore, right? And then she starts back up with me. So I'm like, I went back at her again. All of a sudden, I'm in London. I did a bunch of shit. I was out there for a show.
Puffy got at him and said, you know, that's my lady.
They're like, what do you want to do after, you know, we do all this work? We could go out to a club. I said, all right, let's do it. Something with the options are.
Nobody said suddenly I'm in London.
Puffy teleported. People I'm with, they start making a bunch of calls. Then they come to me and they're like, yo, out of the 3 options, we're going to this one. I said, oh, shit, okay, why? It's like, oh, Diddy wants you to come to this one. I said, how the fuck is Diddy in town? I was like, oh, yeah, no, we called there and Diddy heard that you're going to be there and he wants you to pull up. And I'm like, I was more than not just not last night, brother. If I never met you in the United States of America, I've never seen you in person. The first time I meet Diddy is not going to be so at first I was like, yo, could me and him get on the, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Like, let's get on the call. Let me kind of check the energy, the temperature. They're
Yes,
like,
it does.
nah, just
he looks like Jerry from Tom and Jerry.
He'll have his people bring you in. All right, I'll be there. Never showed up.
You
Yeah,
think?
exactly.
All right. Well, do you think the him and Meek shit like is real? And I like Meek Mill. Like,
him and Meek Mill? No, I don't think Meek Mill is like gay. But I just think Meek Mill is as bad at defending that he's not gay.
is it funny that he got so defensive on Twitter?
It was kind of crazy.
Bro, you go so hard.
Meek Mill said he was going to kill me over someone else calling him gay.
Yeah.
Like that's, to be honest, I never thought Meek was gay until I saw how bad he got
he doesn't have
and not in the rumors.
I'm gonna put y'all onto some street.
Bro, that was
street
so
shit right
great.
now. A case is something that the man brings against you. He has a lawsuit pending from a woman who accused him of rape, but unfortunately, the video evidence that was provided to the sheriffs on the night of it happening exonerate academics, at least academics. She's alleging that there is stuff that was not on tape that will help her win her civil case. But in the eyes of the law, in regards to criminal proceedings, he's been exonerated from that. I don't have a dog in this fight either. Some people will say to me like, "Why does it seem like you're defending him and want him not?" If he's guilty, he's guilty. But if he's not guilty, is he not guilty? Like, does that work both ways? I don't know. Again, the Gemini moon is rising high amongst the Dragon Crescent. My powers will be at their peak next week. This is only the beginning.
Oh, God. Next week's episode is a very special episode where I don't talk.
Crazy on Twitter. I watched that whole exchange. You go so hard. You don't go.
No,
it's funny.
Meek Mill, as I said, shout out to my man, Cat Williams, man. 2024 is a year. Everything will definitely be revealed.
Ironically, you didn't know that shortly after that. I mean, the only reason we're not playing the Act video is because I'm just tired of giving civil cases a breath, right? If he did it, then again, I'm not defending him. But if there's evidence, video evidence that he didn't do it, right, then yes, you heard me right, bro. There is video. I was wondering how long it was going to take for that to register. Literally, the police who police the area academics lives in, unless I have this wrong, feel free to correct me, requested the footage that he has in his house, and no charges were brought against anyone. This wasn't a thing where it's like she showed up, they did a rape kit, and the good old boys are standing around and are like, well, maybe you did something to deserve this, young lady. No. Video evidence apparently exonerates everyone involved.
Yo, this is a total side note.
Yeah.
You're all gonna be disgusted. I think if I had a shitload of money,
yes,
here I am cussing. But if I had a shitload of money, I would record every sex act I ever did.
It makes sense.
So I can't be sued. So I can't, or for court.
Yeah, there was an episode of Law and Order Special.
Wait, hold on. That makes sense. Wait, before you go any further, that makes sense, right?
I mean, you
understand my thought process, right? Yeah. That I'm doing it to have evidence that I'm not a pervert and I'm not an attacker, because people will say that to make money off of you.
Yeah, but what you got to do is you got to have consent forms to go along with that, and there's got to be audio.
No.
Yes.
F that.
No, consent forms and audio, because
there'll be audio. You will definitely hear her say yes. Yes, daddy. Yes, daddy. It's all going to be up in there. But, consent forms, I've thought about it. When you hear about this whole thing about college, when people are like, so what, you need a consent form nowadays to bang? They're like, yeah. I'm like, that would just... this show is not about analyzing sex, but let's analyze sex for a second. That will ruin sex. Imagine you're in the heat of the moment. You're in it, you're doing, you're doing anything, and suddenly you're like, by the way, sweetie, sign this. She's like, what is this? It's a contract saying that you want to bang me tonight. Imagine how that's going to go over.
Mantis, can I ask you a question? Are you going to get consent from these women to record them?
No.
So we can see that Mantis won't be joining us in the free world.
So I want to hold on. So I want to make this clear. So in states where it's a 2-party consent for recordings, that's if you want to use the recording for something.
Profit. Right.
But if you simply record for your own purposes, it is not illegal and not against the thing. And so for profit or even for court, you need their consent. But if you're just keeping it on side, you're not doing anything wrong.
I'm going to say something to you, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way. And say this, and I say it with love, my brother. You're a technologically challenged guy, and you are the type of guy where I could see somehow this shit ends up on your OneDrive because you used Microsoft Edge and you didn't realize it was being synced to the cloud, and then all your fucking videos leak out.
For the record, I don't use OneDrive because I can't figure it out.
Okay. So, ladies, you heard it here first, man. No consent. But you're gonna make him say on camera like I consent to sex or something along the line.
Yeah, so something like that.
Yeah. I can see you in court. I can see you in court right now, just completely justified.
Like, clearly the host said yes. As he said, please stop. Yeah, man. Just I like to be called Daddy also. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. Do we have any other stories for tonight?
No, man. I think we can wrap it here, man.
I think we killed it tonight.
We killed it. Good time, man. I love these early shows, man. It's 10:40. I can go get some rest. Really prepare myself for the bullshit we're going to be on next week. I don't know what day we're recording. Let me see what day my fucking birthday is. I'm not even going to say it out loud. I just want to see what day it is. Okay. We're going to be on some bullshit next week.
Probably next week is also Memorial Day.
Yeah, it's Monday or some shit, right?
Are you doing anything for that?
Hell no. I'm fucking going to work, getting time and a half, and then bringing my ass home. Because Tuesday I'm off, man. I'm off on Tuesday, so maybe I'm
gonna have the day off, but just constantly worry about the work that I'm not. Because basically, I work one of those jobs that like if you take a single day off, it just punishes you, and I just have extra work when I come back. So like anyone's doing my job for me.
I know it's crazy that they feel like they can punish you for being off. Like, guys, we need to make sure we think ahead for this day we're losing. Like, I don't even think ahead of shit. What are you fucking talking about? It's my day off.
I'm still paying for having a birthday. So, but anyway, I had a great time. I loved how long we talked about Marvel. That was one of our longest Marvel in a while conversations, or superhero. And it's been such a while where we had like a lot of content to get into. Love that.
Loved it.
I'm sorry to hear Meek Mills was diddled, man. That's sad stuff.
I hope he gets the support he needs, man. The crazy part about that is Ak is right. It wasn't that the accusation of him getting diddled ruined him. It was his response. Meek Mill's a thug. I doesn't know how to use the internet. Cameron would have handled that perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. That says, great stream, guys. Can't wait for the next one. Absolutely, Matt. Always a pleasure to have you, man.
Always.
We need to get Matt as a guest up on this.
We've said that multiple times. Let's make it happen. Let's get him booked.
Yeah, we're getting you booked, brother. But anyway, do you have any final thoughts? Where can the people find you?
You know where you can find me, folks. Riz Radio, Sunday nights, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Your boy Steve for Mic Check, man. Where I just, as Manta said, I love rap so much that I just talk shit about all the rappers you love, which is usually the problem. Your opinion.
That's always the type of hip hop show you love to tune into. It's just like, I love this new rapper, and then as soon as the DJ comes on, he's talking shit.
But isn't that hip hop through and through? When did you ever come on and
that is hip hop? That is hip hop.
Saying some positive affirmations about rappers. That's the problem with you people. And by you people, I mean you black people.
Yeah, he clearly is talking about blacks, but like, I like my rap ignorant. It's hoes in the back, pimps in the front, and chumps in the trunk, man. And I don't want positive shit. We're all dealing drugs in this car. You know, that's what's going on there. And I, who am playing some of your favorite pop music today, can be found on Riz Radio as well. Noon to 4 p.m. every weekday. That's right. I'm your lunch guy, man. Hit me up. Check me out. Riz Radio only on Live 365. But that's a lie because technically we're on any app that plays you digital radio. Anyway, we are taking off. Thank you so much. Dex is giving us love. Fangirls for Fanboys. Matt says, I promise as soon as I get my new PTO, I'll DM you. Please do, brother. Yeah. Until next time, guys, this is the Fanboy Modeling School signing off, reminding you to like, share, subscribe, all the good things. Until next time, ciao for motherfucking now.
Peace.
Peace.